Hey guys, it's Amber. So today I'm going to be doing a review on the Dermablend. This is the cover cream, and I also have some of the Smooth Indulgence foundation. I'm going to kind of compare the two, tell you kind of the things that are good on both products, and so you can kind of find which one probably works best for you. And for those of you who are wondering, Amber, where did you get this Dermablend? I thought you weren't buying any makeup. So I did a Camo Confessions video for Dermablend. They reached out to me after seeing some of my rosacea videos and asked if I would share my story about how rosacea has affected me kind of emotionally. And if you're interested in seeing that video, I will go ahead and link it here. They just asked me if I'd ever tried Dermablend, and I'd said no. And they're like, oh, well, we'll send you some. And I was like, okay, well, if they do, that's cool. If not, that's fine. Well, a few months later, they ended up sending me both of these after they asked me to go get color matched. And so they sent these for me, but they weren't in any kind of in conjunction with a review, or they didn't pay me or anything. It was just kind of like, hey, have you tried this? Would you like to? Here you go. And that was that. They don't even know I'm doing this video. So I decided to do a review on these because I think a lot of my viewers have the same problems as me and are probably curious about this and probably don't want to spend the money on a foundation if they don't have to, if they can hear from someone who actually has rosacea if it worked well or not. So that's why I decided to do it. So first of all, I'll start with the cover cream. So this is an SPF 30, which is great. And this is a long-lasting, high-wear foundation, and it's got extreme coverage. So when you look at this product, I mean, it's obviously very thick in the jar. I would say it most closely reminds me of theatrical makeup. Like if you've ever done any kind of theater, the makeup that they have in theater is really thick and it comes in this kind of form and it covers really, really well. Now I have used this for probably a couple weeks and I really liked the coverage. I feel like this is really great for somebody who has rosacea, a lot of acne, or someone who likes a super full coverage foundation. This is going to be extremely full coverage. This isn't going to be more medium at all. This is going to be definitely your full coverage foundation. I definitely think this would probably be a little much for the average person. If you just want your normal, face just evened out, I would definitely say this is probably too much. But for those of you who have a lot of imperfections that you're wanting to cover, I definitely think this is the way to go. So next is the Smooth Indulgence foundation, and this is going to be the liquid foundation. And this one has sunscreen as well, but it doesn't have as much. This has SPF 20, and this is a lot more fluid. This is going to be like your typical full coverage foundation. It's going to give a really nice wear. I'd say both of these are more to a semi-matte to a matte finish. And if you have dry skin, I'll share with you in my demo a little trick that you can do to kind of help make it go on a little more fluid, because I know matte foundations can tend to stick if you've got dry skin. But I haven't found that this clings to any dry patches. It doesn't settle into pores and fine lines. Like I feel like it gives a really nice even coverage. And I don't have any other makeup on except for the Dermablend and some powder, just so you guys could see what it looks like and not be distracted by my eye makeup and blush and everything else. Sometimes once you get everything else on, it's hard to tell how good your foundation is covering. Some of the things that I really like about this foundation are obviously it has great coverage and it lasts a really long time. One thing I think is a little confusing about this foundation is that the color matching isn't the same across the board. So I went to Ulta and actually got matched for foundation from one of their Ulta professionals or consultants or whatever. And so when I went, I wanted to get matched for both of them to see which one I would like better. First, she matched me in the Smooth Indulgence foundation. She said this is their best seller. It's their more typical foundation that most everyone uses. And she matched me in Natural Beige. When I went to go pick out Natural Beige in the cover cream, it was way too dark. So if you're ordering online or if you're not having someone help you, make sure that you get matched for each product that you buy, because for whatever reason, it's not the same. So this one is in Chroma 1 1/2, and this is in Warm Ivory. And I'll swatch the colors for you so you can see the difference side by side. But I think she did a really good job matching my skin tone, and I'm really happy with the results. There's the two. This is the cream, so you can see it's a lot thicker, and then this is the more the foundation. So I mean, this one's a titch lighter, but I think overall they're a pretty good match, and once you blend them in, I mean, it blends really seamlessly. And one thing I will say is because it's such a full coverage foundation, you got to really make sure that you get your blush and your bronzer in there, because if you just put this on your face and don't put anything else on. It's going to give you a very matte effect, so you want to make sure that you're putting on the rest of your makeup so you're not just making your face look a little too pale. And you want to make sure you can warm it up a little bit. Well, now let's go ahead and start into the demo. So first of all, I'm just starting off with some primer. And Dermablend does make a primer. This one's from Mary Kay, but you can use whichever primer you're currently using. I think they pretty much go with any foundation. And the way that I like to use it is I first like to start off with the Cover Cream, and this is the thicker of the two foundations. Tiny little spatula, and you can just go ahead and grab a little bit out. And I really don't use a lot at all. Like I use just a tiny bit. And then I like to put it on the back of my hand, and it says just to do that to kind of warm up the product and make it a little bit easier to spread over your face. Now, if you have normal to oily skin, then I would say go ahead and do this. Now, because I have dry skin, I like to actually just take like the tiniest drop of my primer. And when I mean tiny, I mean this is clear, but like just a little tiny drop of it, and then I mix it together. And to me, it just makes the product a little bit more fluid and moves over my skin a little easier, just because my skin's dry. It tends to just like soak it up. So, and then after that, I just like to apply this right with my fingers. And I apply it right on the areas where I have the most redness, just kind of like I would a concealer. So typically for me, that's on my nose and under my eyes. Like I'm going to try to put it on my chin, and also if I have any little bit of blemishes, I can put this on just because it's a little bit thicker, or just little old red spots. So that's basically all that I do for the Cover Cream. Now, if you had a lot of redness or if you had a lot of acne, you could go ahead and use that Cover Cream on your entire face. Like if you see the videos, it can cover amazing things. Like seriously, it is legit, like covers it all. Because I don't like to, on a daily basis, wear that much makeup, I like to use it just on the areas that I really need it. Then I go in with the next product, which is the Smooth Indulgence Foundation. And this I put also on the back of my hand. This comes with a sponge, but I prefer to use a brush just because that's my personal preference. But I think this would be great for like a beauty blender or anything like that. And then I just like to stipple it on and blend it into the other foundation. And that's it. So I don't have any of the Dermablend powder, so I'm going to just use what I have, but then I would go ahead and make sure I set it with the powder. As you can see, all the redness is gone. It's really covered well. I feel like with this technique, it blends out well. It doesn't look too thick or cakey on the skin. And I think adding the primer into it for me and my dry skin is the perfect touch, just to give it a little bit of that dewy effect, but keep the longevity of the product and keep it to stay really well like we need it to. And that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!